Hi, this is Niraj, aka the Renegade Pharmacist. This video I want to talk to you all about immortality and longevity and the ability to live forever. Is it a myth or is it something that's actually true? Well, I read a book called The Autobiography of Yogi a few years ago, and it talks all about these superhuman yogis who can live forever, and they broke the urge to die, this natural death urge that we have that means that at some point we're going to leave this planet. And they broke it, they overcame that using yoga and pranayama and other techniques. But is any of this true, or is it just a legend? Well, the deeper I've gone into this, the more I've realized that actually this could be possible. Because there's a technique that is revered in pranayama and yoga called Kumbaka. Kumbaka is where you pause breath, you retain your breath. And there's various ways of doing this, either holding your breath in or holding your breath out. And when you hold your breath out for long periods of time, it has an effect on your body of a positive stress response. And in my own deeper research and working with people like Wim Hof, the superhuman yogi who climbed up Mount Everest in his shorts and ran a marathon in a desert without drinking water, he's definitely hacked something to do with being at your best, physical best. And he also talks a lot about holding your breath, and he has the ability to hold his breath for several minutes at a time. And that led me on to do deeper research into breath holding, to see if there's any science that can actually back up what's going on and explain what's going on during this time. And that led me to meet a doctor, the doctor who really enlightened me at the science of Kumbaka and breath holding. Here's what happens when you hold your breath beyond the comfort zone. So in yoga, there's one of the sutras that says that we should hold our breath beyond the comfort zone. And what that means is that we hold our breath with absolutely no air in our lungs to a point where it's uncomfortable and beyond. And when we break that, magical things happen in the body. So this creates a positive stress response in the body. So when you hold your breath with no air in the lungs, there's going to be a point where your lungs are wanting to breathe desperately, and you're going to feel like you're suffocating to death. But when we can break this urge and go beyond that point, magic happens. Your body starts to think that you're starving of oxygen, even though if you use a pulse oximeter, you've actually got still a lot of oxygen in your bloodstream. This is a safety mechanism designed by your brain to stop us from suffocating and dying of no oxygen. But it kicks in way sooner than your body actually needs to, because we have a lot of oxygen. So when we go beyond that point, that urge, beyond the comfort zone, it triggers this response to produce positive stress hormones that leads to the production of red blood cells. It leads to the production of nitric oxide, which dilates blood vessels around your body, especially your brain and your heart. And it also leads to a hypoxic environment, and it causes a physiological state called intermittent hypoxia. Intermittent hypoxia is brief periods of low oxygen. And what that does is amazing, because it can potentially move around stem cells around our body that have the power to heal, rejuvenate, and replenish the cells that are dying in our body. Stem cells is a big field of research right now. People are spending thousands of dollars to extract stem cells for hope one day that we're able to regenerate our organs with them. Stem cells are cells that have the ability to turn into any other cell in the body. So they're very important cells. But just through a few rounds of Kumbaka a day, or holding your breath beyond the comfort zone, we have a natural way to create hypoxia that will start moving stem cells out of areas called niches where they hide and around our bloodstream and into areas where they're needed. So when you're in the womb, you're in a very hypoxic state. You're at 10% oxygen, and your stem cells are actually in abundance during this time. And the stem cells are differentiating into all different cells in your body. And then when you're born, you actually experience a lot of oxygen coming into your system, and the stem cells run away, hide in niches, and they rarely come out to play. But when we start going into hypoxia, and that's why I love static contraction exercises that trains your body anaerobically, you start to move stem cells around, and that leads to strength and resilience to stress. Which could also mean that because we're moving stem cells around the body, it could lead to longevity, which could ultimately one day lead to immortality. But that still is for you to decide and experience if that's real or just legend.